Welcome to The Future is Made with Finland. Before we introduce you to your hosts for today, here's a short technical orientation. This is an interactive show, and we want you to engage from the start to the end. At the bottom of your screen, you will see this function for general conversations with your hosts, the panelists, and one another. Go ahead and say hello there if you haven't done so already. Next, we have the Q&A function. This is where you can ask any specific questions around today's topics, and our panel members will respond to those as we go along. If you see a question that you like, you can upvote it, and when we get to our panel discussion, those questions will get priority. Also, if you see a question that you know the answer to or have a comment to add, please do so. We may run a poll or two during the show, so please add your vote there as well. If you run into technical difficulties, try to exit Zoom and enter the show once again. And now, without any further delay, here are your hosts, Masia Peche and Alberta Slow.
Hello and welcome from wherever you're joining us across the globe. My name is Masia Peche, and with me is my partner in crime, Alberta Slow.
Yes, welcome from my side as well. And Masia and I are coming to you from the Sutherland High School in Centurion, South Africa. And we would love to hear where in the world you are.
Yes, so go ahead and drop your city or town and even your country in the chat box at the bottom of your screen.
And while you do that, let's give you a quick overview of what this series is all about.
In this series of 3 episodes, we'll be taking you on an Arctic adventure to discover the amazing ways in which Finland and Africa are already working together to create an exciting future of opportunities and excitement.
And today we will dip our toes into some of the incredible innovations happening in Finland. And we will also meet some people who have been studying or working in Finland and some who are still there.
We'll also chat about ways in which you can create your own Arctic adventure. If you're in high school and you're thinking about studying abroad, then we'll chat about ways that you can actually study at a Finnish university.
And if you've finished your university degree, maybe how you can do a postgrad in Finland.
Or even if you're a researcher and you're looking for some exciting opportunities, there are some waiting for you in Finland.
But before we drive our teeth into the juicy details, let's quickly introduce our panelists who are standing ready to answer your questions and also share their experiences. As you could see in the intro sequence, there are some incredible futuristic things happening right now that you could be a part of.
Yeah, Finland and Southern Africa already have such a long history of cooperation that it's just time to take that relationship to the next level.
And we actually have some really cool connections with Finland.
Yeah, one of them happens to be a professional footballer who grew up in Africa and is now playing for Finland's national team.
And we were really lucky to have a quick chat to Pyry Soiri, who has a Finnish mum and a Namibian dad.
My name is Pyry Henry Hidipo Soiri. I'm half Finnish and half Namibian. It's a big part of me. I've lived in Mozambique. I started off there. The beaches there and the food everywhere. But the seafood was really crazy. But from Mozambique, we moved to Namibia. I've lived there for 7 years. While living in Namibia, my mom lived in Angola, so I was in between Namibia and Angola. And then from Namibia to Tanzania. I really, really like Tanzania. I think the people are really, really friendly. It's very, how do you say, Hakuna Matata. It's really just like really chilled vibes. It's not too much stress. You can speak with anyone. I remember it was much easier being a kid. Of course, it was always warm. So playing outside and just running over to the neighbors and just playing with kids, going to the villages and sharing, getting to know people. You can see that I'm not taught how to play by the book. It's more of just feeling the game and what we learned in the Namibian streets and Tanzanian streets. So it was, I feel that I bring that to my game as well. Every summer I went to Finland to play. There was this Helsinki Cups and all these tournaments. And at 16 I moved back. And that was the first time I went into a football team. And a year on from there, I signed my first professional contract. And that was the first time I really felt that now I'm just going to give everything to it. Yeah, my mom made me finish school, which I'm really, really thankful for today. I'm a graduate. And then after that, she said to me that after that, she's never going to nag me again. So I can just focus on football. Yeah, I moved there to another team in Finland where I played a few years. And then from there, I moved to Belarus and to Soligorsk. That was the first time I got to the national team. My national team debut was something I'll always remember. Scoring a goal in my first game against a big team like Croatia was big. From there, I moved to Austria, to Vienna, Admira, where I played 1 year. And after that, I came to Denmark now, where I've been playing now for 2 years. I would say moving to Finland, you have to be prepared for the cold. It's flipping cold. And the sun doesn't shine too much. The first winter is exciting because of all the stuff you can do and skiing and stuff. But I would say the darkness is a minus. But the Finnish summer as well is a really, really nice experience. Everything works. Everything is very structured. I feel like also when I was in school, it was very, very good education and then in general, like taking care of stuff. I think it works very well. I think you just need to be a little bit patient with Finnish people because they take a bit of time to open up. They won't just blabber on directly when you meet them. So you have to a little bit, just kind of unwind them, open them up. And after that, then just give them a beer. And that will help. So,
What a cool guy.
Right. And how cool is it that we can just connect with somebody on the other side of the world and have a quick chat, even though there's social distancing?
Yeah, what an amazing time to be alive.
Wednesday. The day after Tuesday. Not quite Thursday yet. And by the time the laundry's done, you can sense the world has spun just a little bit further, beyond repair. What a time to be alive. Then again, this may be an ordinary day, but so was every day before every breakthrough. The day before we beat smallpox, before we saw an atom for the first time, the day before the first bytes of data shot across the World Wide Web. Never have futures unfolded in front of us as they do right now. As we speak, we are discovering extraordinary antimicrobial compounds in ordinary berries, so our children may beat superbacteria with cures directly from our forests. And right at this moment, we are designing hyperspectral cameras for satellites that let us see emissions and fight climate change from space. Plans are coming together for cities that are full of energy but free from pollution. So instead of cars, our children may focus on driving their dreams. We are living through pivotal moments every second. What an amazing time to be alive.
Marcia, how much do you actually know about Finland?
Oh, well, I know that it gets really cold there. I know that they have reindeers and that they love saunas.
Shall we show them the other answers?
Sure. Earlier on, we walked up to a few people to ask them how much they know about Finland.
It's a blue and white flag.
I know very little, if I'm being very honest.
Yeah.
I just know that I think you speak Finnish.
I know their cost of living is quite high. I do know that it is known as the happiest place on the world.
Okay, cool.
Yes, and then I also know it's also one of the first countries to give women the right to vote.
Well, I know it's the happiest country in the world. I know that you guys have 3 million saunas. It was pretty interesting. And that you have Lapland that has Santa Claus.
I don't know much actually. I mean, I've heard and read articles about them having a high standard of living and one of the happiest places in the world, but I don't know anything much more than that.
Do not know. All I know is that it's quite technologically advanced and they've got a lot of opportunities, but other than that, I haven't gone much into it.
Now, Albertus here did a little filming when he was in Finland. Let's take a look.
Finland, the land of 1,000 lakes. Well, that is actually an understatement. Finland has 187,888 lakes to be precise. It has more water in relation to land mass than any other country in the world. Its water is also some of the cleanest in the world, as is its air. Finland is also the land of thousands of forests. Over 70% of the country consists of forests. I was there during Ruska, when the trees dress up in their magnificent autumn outfits. And I got to properly explore these forests with Finnish author and photographer Kimmo Ohtinen. I learned that the reason the Finns have these forests is because of their culture to look out for future generations. They plant over 150 million trees each year in their forest plantations, where these trees will grow for 60 to 120 years before being harvested. So they plant for their children and grandchildren. I also learned that they have a rule in Finland called every man's right, where you have the right to walk freely anywhere in nature you want, and to help yourself to the wild berries and mushrooms nature provides. And if you wonder if we saw any bears, one of the best places in the world to see the northern lights, or the aurora borealis, is in Finnish Lapland, which is also the real home of Santa Claus. It is a country of extremes. Winters are long and freezing. In the middle of winter in the north, the sun actually does not rise for up to 50 days. And in the middle of summer, the sun shines right through the night. You can literally go and see the midnight sun. The Finns love nature and make the best of it by spending a lot of time outside. And they're not afraid of the cold. They embrace it. They actually love extreme temperatures. No wonder they have more saunas per capita than any other country in the world. Most Finnish families have a cottage somewhere in the forest where they can go recuperate, obviously with a sauna as well. Finns are known for their trust and honesty. No wonder there is very little crime and corruption, and it is one of the safest places on the planet. Their quality of life is some of the highest in the world, with excellent healthcare and education from preschool to PhD level, all for free. Interestingly enough, Finland used to be a poor, oppressed nation, but decided to make education their highest priority. And ever since, their fortunes turned around. Teaching is one of the best paid, most respected careers in the country. Only the top students get selected to study teaching, and minimum qualification for a teacher, even at preschool level, is a master's degree. Every child gets a warm, nutritious meal at school every day for free, and it's illegal to charge school fees. The Finns consider the great outdoors the best place to learn, and some preschools literally use the forest as their classroom. Even in higher grades, children often get taught outside, and on the days they do go to class, they get a break every 45 minutes to play outside. Creativity, joy and curiosity are some of the priorities in learning, and children are encouraged to explore. No wonder the country is known for its innovation. Angry Birds, Clash of Clans, and most of the greatest mobile phone games ever invented come from Finland. It is one of the most successful gaming hubs in the world. And if you're a heavy metal fan, you would know that Apocalyptica, HIM, Nightwish and Amorphous are all Finnish bands. Last but not least, the Finns have one of the weirdest languages in the world, known for super long words like this one.
That actually looks amazing. I actually really want to go. I'm a little jealous.
You do, Marcia, I promise you do. And we actually do have a little piece of Finland here in South Africa.
That's right. Earlier on, we actually got to chat to the Finnish Ambassador.
Why did the Embassy of Finland decide to create the series The Future is Made with Finland?
Well, overall, this year for us is a year of education and science. You know, Finland is known for its education and science, and that's why we want to share our experiences on what we are doing at the moment in Finland.
What is Finland's track record when it comes to education, science and innovation?
Well, it's very good. You all know that our basic education is one of the best in the world. And then also our universities are very good. It's been tested in OECD PISA studies. That is because our schools are very equal. So if you go to school in Helsinki or you go to school in Lapland or anywhere in between, you have the same quality education for all. And that's really important because that makes the society equal.
So why should somebody from Africa consider studying or doing research in Finland?
Well, first of all, we want to have you, but the better answer would be that it's worthwhile. We have very good universities and you can become a very good researcher in Finland. You get all the support you need.
Now, we saw earlier from Alberto's experience just how amazing Finland's education system is, and its nature and its innovation, which we will dive into in our next episode.
And even though the Finns seem quite serious, it doesn't mean they don't have time for a little bit of fun and games.
Images have really huge impact on us. So this sort of communicating through image, it's absolutely fascinating to me. My name is Natasha Skult and I'm originally from Serbia. My background is in more traditional arts, or so-called classical arts. I started my PhD studies at Art History department here at University of Turku.
I did research on art replicas and copies. For me, this shift between the sort of from the cultural heritage and theory to actually games as a medium kind of telling a story was smooth and not a brainer. I have been a hardcore gamer since childhood. My parents were gamers. I grew up with that. Now you're telling a story through interactive images. We want to kind of break the boundaries of interactive storytelling, and especially in the field of gamification and serious games. We believe that the future of gaming is integrating the technology with the needs of everyday life. We can see even in commercial games, even mobile ones and so on, how much this also social impact there is. Through stories, we can bring people together, and games do allow that on a much higher level through interactivity. One of the really biggest successes of the games industry in general here is this openness between the developers. In order to get the most out of whatever product we are creating, we need to challenge each other. As someone who is also teaching game design and game art here at the University of Turku, and I must say, Turku with 3 universities has so much talent. So I'm hoping to have more of this talent kept here, that we can actually develop more of things like locally. Regardless what your background necessarily is, I mean, from the engineering to humanities or music or whatever, animation, you have your place in the games industry. Turku as a city has a lot to offer to not just young teams, but also more experienced ones. So you have pretty much everything you need here, from the ecosystem to location, to the mindset of people that are really having what you need to expand your business here.
How awesome was that? And I mean, that's just the beginning. Be sure to join us in our next episode where we dive even deeper into Finland's innovations.
And this innovative mindset is built right into the education system, from preschool all the way to universities.
I don't know about you, but I would definitely love to see what those universities actually look like.
For sure. Actually, let's have a look.
Up north, on the top of the world, there is an innovative centre of science and thinking. One of the best multidisciplinary universities in the world, the University of Helsinki. We are the cradle of Finnish civilization. Since 1640, we have contributed significantly to Finnish prosperity and national identity. We have built a fair and an equal society that by many indicators is considered one of the best in the world. Today, we want to share our knowledge and to have a strong global impact. As a multidisciplinary university, we solve challenges that affect us all. Truth, the exploration for new knowledge, and boundary-breaking research create opportunities that shape the future of our planet. Our radical openness combined with active international cooperation make the University of Helsinki's impact global. We passionately believe that with the power of knowledge, we can change attitudes, people, and society for the world.
Jyväskylä.
How the f*** do you say that?
Se on Jyväskylä.
University of Jyväskylä is life-changing.
It's international.
Interdisciplinary.
Physical.
Creative.
Sporty. What was the question?
One of a kind.
Cool.
Warm.
Home.
I've seen your face before, and I can't help but wonder how I let you slip right out of my hands. I hope I see you again. I don't know why. I hope I see you again. 'Cause I can't breathe, baby, I can't sleep. You're all that I need. Why can't you see? I hope I see you again.
I did not know that studying could look so cool.
I know, right? But did you know that there's a Finnish university with a campus right here in Southern Africa?
Yes, I did. The University of Turku actually has a plug-in campus right in the heart of the capital of Namibia. So if you're not 100% certain whether you'd survive an Arctic winter, you can still get a Finnish education right on the edge of the Namib Desert.
So the Future Technology Lab of University of Turku is the first remote campus of any Finnish university abroad. And we particularly focus on getting inspired by the African opportunities to create like future technologies here, which are non-existent elsewhere.
Okay, whoa. But first of all, what on earth is a plug-in campus?
Not being like constrained in the buildings or anywhere like inside, but getting like openly outside, taking university to where people are. And so in that way also can be plugged around the country or around the continent. Nowadays universities are very bureaucratical, they are almost like learning factories, reminding us of industrial era, which was already like way back, centuries back. But now we talk about information era, imagination era. So we shouldn't anymore industrialize learning. We should actually personalize it, contextualize it. When we do that, so we can talk about the traveling university, a new model that was suggested by Richard Branson way back for especially Africa. Apparently also because everyone now understands that Africa is the continent of the future.
Lani Ukab is a third-year computer science student at the University of Namibia and an intern at the Future Tech or FT Lab. Getting to know the Finns, he discovered a few surprises.
I thought like Finland was just from the beginning rich because it was in Europe. So I learned from Prof. Erkki that it was one of the poorest countries in the world. So, and look at them now, one of the richest, happiest. It has also shown me to look at the country that I live in from a new light, to see opportunities from everything that's around.
So one of Future Lab's specialities to prepare future generations is a master's course in software engineering.
Artificial intelligence and IoT on the ground, because this seems to be like the big thing and a lot of opportunities in Africa. You can really get very attractive jobs after or even during your studies, because of course you can also work during your studies in a Finnish university. And then you get like your degree from a Finnish university, it's a European degree, and at the same time you get an African experience.
The Future Lab is also a great hub for researching and developing new technologies for Africa that can also reach the world.
It's called Future Technology Lab, which means that, we want to get inspired by African challenges, opportunities, resources, especially people, to get inspired to co-design with people new technologies that are not yet available in the global north.
But it's not technology for technology's sake,
but rather use technology and design technology in that way that it can convey, the relationship and togetherness between people and, promote understanding.
So they would visit schools and co-design learning tools with the kids.
So instead of just deciding what the kids want, we talked with the kids and they gave us the ideas of what they want, which we got really interesting ideas. And the main idea was to replace teachers with robots. Yeah.
And then they're using artificial intelligence even in smart agriculture.
We're working on a vertical garden which uses hydroponic systems, so we can grow, people in rural areas can grow their crops inside or at home.
But also solutions like designing smart rural villages and creating the world's best computer games, telling African stories and promoting Africa's rich legacy.
We need to get outside. We need to cross the borders. We need to get beyond. And that's, where the reformation starts. And I think that this is something like, adventure. In a way, it's the spirit of traveling university, traveling and exploring and finding new things.
Everyone can see Africa is the next superpower. It has a lot of potential, and especially young people. Without taking advantage of Africa, you can help them co-design Africa together, so we can all grow together. So I think, it shows that it can happen. It's possible.
Pretty cool, right? And that's just one of many collaborations already happening all across Africa.
Yep, so it doesn't matter where you are on the continent. Chances are there are already some Finns working with your fellow citizens on some pretty cool projects.
Yeah. Shall we have a look at a few others?
Yeah, let's do it.
How do you prepare children for a future where we don't even know what careers will still exist?
So the project I'm currently working on with Code School Finland is basically bringing coding, robotics and artificial intelligence to schools in South Africa. We have started a pilot where we have introduced coding to 4 primary schools, 2 in Eastern Cape and 2 in Western Cape.
Teachers are trained by Finnish experts to facilitate multidisciplinary, open-ended programming projects for their learners.
So the curriculum that we are offering is basically covering all ages, from our level, preschool up to high school. So there is modules that could be suitable throughout your learning path. We are currently focusing on, the primary schools.
Good news is that teachers don't need any prior knowledge about coding or robotics.
In teaching coding and robotics, they should actually not take the role as a teacher. They should learn together with the students in a process where they are facilitating learning rather than being a teacher. We are focusing a lot on developing 21st century skills in the process, and that it is more learner-centric. It's more project-based, where the learners they learn skills while working on projects and trying to figure things out on their own.
In this design-based project learning model, children get to work on designing something real and then learn what they need to learn in the process. It stimulates curiosity, critical thinking, creativity, innovation and communication between learners.
It's very exciting to see, when the kids start to get, the hang of things. We as adults sometimes we are a bit slow, and it's kind of like they have no problems of trial and error and okay, that didn't work, let's try something else, and it is usually those aha moments, you get them also with the older learners, but they come much quicker with the younger learners, and that is very exciting to see.
Coding and robotics is the theme, but the skill children learn is the ability to adapt to an ever-changing world and become lifelong learners. And now from South Africa to the east coast of the continent, where 4 Tanzanian universities and a Finnish university have joined forces to empower African youth to ensure better resilience and urban development in African cities.
Over the next 20 years, 95% of global urban growth will occur in developing countries. The rapidly expanding cities in Tanzania are increasingly vulnerable to climate risks because of weak urban and land use planning, little information to assess vulnerability and risk, and lack of updated infrastructure. Since 2017, the Tanzania Urban Resilience Programme has focused on risk identification, risk reduction, and disaster preparedness and emergency management. The impact has been knowledge, skills, and innovative designs for transformative investments. From 900 students creating an open map of the city to drones being used to build flood models, and from trialling new technologies for weather and flood monitoring to developing emergency response plans. Transformations that are helping governments and citizens to improve their city. Now the Tanzania Resilience Academy will embed these best practices and achievements into the academic courses offered by 4 Tanzanian universities. It will equip young people with tools, knowledge and skills to address the world's most pressing urban challenges and ensure resilient urban development. The Resilience Academy is establishing a geospatial information system, or GeoNode, a content management system for climate risk information and research. It is developing open access education material for university staff and students, and is building a long-term internship program providing university students with practical skills needed to apply their academic knowledge in their own communities. Join us at the Resilience Academy.
What I like about these projects is the diversity. It doesn't matter if it's teaching, agriculture, or really high-tech stuff. There's something for everyone.
Yeah, it's about creating real solutions for real problems.
Would you ever consider studying in Finland?
Oh, for sure.
Not afraid of the cold?
Oh, yeah.
We've asked a few learners around here as well how they would feel about studying in Finland.
I feel like it would be really good, a good experience and something different, yeah.
We always have that option of studying abroad, but it's never really become a reality in a sense mentally because it's expensive or something like that. So studying abroad would be really nice, but it's not really a realistic option for a lot of us.
I have not. I think for me, my mindset has always just been like go to school, like primary school, high school, then university here. I've never really opened my mindset to overseas, but I think now's a good time to start thinking about that.
Definitely, yeah. I think you have a chance to prosper.
I have, because I want to try and broaden my spectrum and try and get an opportunity to be successful. And I think being abroad kind of gives me that independence. So yes, I thought of it, but I haven't actually gone into it yet.
I'm sure you have a few questions about studying in Finland. You can go ahead and type them in the Q&A section, and we'll get our fabulous panel to answer some of your questions in a few minutes.
And I'm sure many of those questions will be answered by just listening to people who are currently studying in Finland or who have completed their studies. So let's see.
The first thing that struck me was the fact that the cities are fused with the environment. So you see a whole lot of buildings, and from each building you see a little bit of nature in between.
For a Mozambican, it was
very interesting because I never could imagine something so organized as in Finland.
By the time I got here, I already have a bed, I had tables to learn on, and when I didn't have a bicycle, one gentleman offered his bicycle.
Campus life it encourages a healthy lifestyle. There's gyms around, food is subsidized for students.
Every day you got lunch for very affordable prices, subsidized by the government, so you paid just a portion for of the value of the lunch that you were getting.
Finland's education or ways of learning are more centered to their student-centered. You can learn by yourself. Most cases, you discover things by yourself.
As a lecturer, you don't assume the monopoly of knowledge. It's a highly interactive program that requires, learning starting from the point of view of the learner himself, and it uses the experiential methods.
There's room for people to learn and grow. And in that way, you actually figure out what you enjoy more and put more effort on that. And I think that's important if you are going to be building young professionals who actually enjoy what they're doing.
Traditional examinations are not actually favored that much. It's more of an ongoing assessment system where you would be given assignments and tasks that you would have to submit on an ongoing basis, and where you'd have to do research.
The interaction of the lecturers with the students, it was not like I was used to. Very interactive, and you can ask questions as much as you want.
Back home or back in South Africa, you'd be so scared to approach a professor, because they're the big guys.
But here, I even call my professors by their first names, which you can't do that in Africa.
You even sit down and have lunch and dinner with these guys.
There is this element of mentorship which is very, very important, where junior academic staff who happened to be ourselves were able to work with some senior partners from the north, universities in Finland, and even came up with a peer-reviewed, the different book chapters, which eventually came out into a book.
You will have a very solid team behind you, professors available, researchers available, technicians, and the rest are ready.
All this non-corruption, all these organization all around the society and all the citizens involved. There is no need for policemen because everyone knows very well what is his role in society.
Just look at the Finnish Prime Minister right now. She's, I think, mid-30s, and the cabinet itself is young people in early 30s as well. And I think that's one thing that Africa should actually, try and work towards, because the young people have ideas. They have so much to offer.
I believe that if we want to see change, we are the people to make the change where we are. So for me to change my school environment, it has to start with me. Coming here, learning from what other people are doing and go implement in my own context.
It was so interesting to learn that Finland was also at one point a colony, but it has come out as one of the leading countries so far that is more self-sustaining, with a very strong industrial base, very strong social security system. And then all we're saying is that anyway, if other countries have managed to move from what they were, perhaps instead of just every time complaining that we cannot do it, it's possible.
It shows that they have done it before and they can still do a lot more. And in fact, a lot more is going on over there. So if you get the opportunity to study in Finland, I would say take it and try to make the best out of it.
What are you doing?
Checking out flights to Finland.
And if you feel you're done with studying for now, you can always work on a research project with the Finns.
Currently enrolled as a full-time student in the doctoral program in psychology and speech therapy at the School of Social Science. My dissertation work provides important perspective on health, mental health, well-being, and adolescent development.
Basically, my PhD studies are in mineral processing, mining and mineral processing of base metal sulfides. So we're talking about minerals that host elements like copper and nickel, which are quite important in making metals and alloys and even battery electric vehicles right now.
A doctoral researcher in peace, mediation and conflict research from the Tampere Peace Research Institute, Faculty of Social Science, Tampere University, Finland. I am currently working on the intractability and resolution of latent communal violence in Ghana.
Under my professors, I have been able to develop critical thinking skills, which are evident in my publications in world-class peer-reviewed journals.
So we would work with mines here in Finland and mines in Portugal. Would fly between the two countries, doing some site surveys, figuring out the water qualities and cleaning technologies and methodologies. The nice thing about doing research in Finland is they have the equipment. And it's an important thing, especially if you're going to be doing research in science. They have some of the state-of-the-art equipment.
If you go to the libraries, we have digital libraries. And if you go to the laboratories and the workshops, the office space are equipped with modern technologies, modern softwares. So in that sense, it's an amazing resource that we have here.
I came to Finland primarily to study in Tampere University because of the multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary nature of the courses, which offer a greater degree of latitude for those willing to advance both academically and also professionally.
Most importantly for me, I learned to work in a multicultural and multidisciplinary team. Because it was not only chemical engineers, you had geologists, you had people from science, chemists in there.
A lot of people from different parts of the world and with a lot of culture, and you see that dynamics helping or improving or fostering the research productivity of the university. So you feel comfortable working with a lot of people with different cultural backgrounds.
I find the faculty members pretty much amazing, not just for the depth and excellence of their scholarships, but also for their open door and open access policies towards students.
The hierarchy is very flat so that you could meet whomever you want in some specific research or academic issues.
Especially when it comes to things like IT, tech, and entrepreneurship, they are really hands-on on that. They're really big on that, and we can actually learn quite a lot from the Finnish people.
In general, the study and the research environment in Tampere University is amazing, very effective and very efficient, that specifically support the research and teaching productivity of researchers.
I've also noted that a lot of Finnish companies are now trying to make inroads into Africa, and actually get, even from a mining point of view and even from a tech point of view, they're really trying to get there and harness talent and also expand and impart knowledge to Africans.
We should have this collaboration, working together and developing the capacities of African researchers to identify the main challenge and to help them identify also the solutions.
There are so many forums that are now available for African students, African employees or workers to actually give their opinion on how Finland is and how it's working for them and what they expect or what they need to be done by the Finnish government in order to improve the working relations between Africa and Finland.
We should go beyond development projects and especially focus on developing projects, African projects, a project that takes into consideration the dynamic contribution of African researchers and working together to find solutions for African problems.
For everyone passionate about making impact and transformational change, I am recommending unreservedly Tampere University and by extension, Finland.
If you have not yet had a bite of the Finnish education system, come to Finland and be a part of what promises to be the future of global academic excellence.
What an adventure. And in our next episode, we'll delve into even more ways in which Finland is taking hands with the rest of the world to create solutions for the future.
But now it's time for a discussion. So just a quick reminder of who our panelists are. Great. So we had a lot of questions that you guys asked in the chat box and as well in the Q&A section. A lot of those were specific to specific study areas, and our embassy staff has been handling those. We will be posting this recording on this same website where you registered, futurewithfinland.com, as well as frequently asked questions. I think, Masia, if you have any question that you maybe want to start with.
Yeah, so a couple of questions have come through here on the Q&A. Don't forget to drop your questions there rather than in the chat box. And I'm going to go ahead and pick one that I saw you wanted to answer specifically. Let me find it. A lot of questions are coming through as I'm doing this. Give me a second.
No problem. And as she's looking for that question, we have 3 students/researchers on the panel. So if you have specific questions for people from Africa who have experienced what it's like to do research in Finland or study in Finland, you can ask them. And then we have 2 people working on Finnish African collaborations in Africa. And then we have 1 Finnish university with a remote campus in Africa. Those are the people on the panel.
So a lot of questions came through regarding PhD studies. And Ngoni, I noticed you wanted to answer that one live, so I'm going to throw it to you regarding assistance with PhDs, assistance with studying a PhD in Finland. Do you want to go ahead and answer that, Ngoni?
All right, thank you very much. I just wanted to say, I saw when people were posting the questions, usually the response was a link to say you can check out Study in Finland. Yes, that works to a certain extent, but then you find that at postgraduate level, it's more about networking and communication. So what you actually need to do is first stance is, yes, you check your Study in Finland website, see what's available, but then do more work in terms of actually checking out the universities that are out there and the field of study that you want to go into. Then you have to take the next step of actually contacting the professors, finding out if they have funding for you. Because I understand that most people coming from Africa, they will be hoping that they get funding. So I think that's the most important thing, to first check out if there's funding for you. And by skipping the study to Finland, it works, but then by going straight to the universities and the professors, at times you jump the queue and you actually go in front of the line, because when some of these posts then come on to Study into Finland, they've already been posted by the universities, and you might miss out on an opportunity because there are some people who are constantly checking university websites. So my advice is to constantly check university websites, including Study in Finland. So not just focusing on one PhD link source, but then continuously checking out different university websites and contacting these potential supervisors or researchers, because that's the only way you can actually get to find out what's available and whether there'll be funding for you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ngoni. Prof. Erkki, do you want to add to that?
Yeah, maybe something. I have like 5 Namibian PhD students who are actually studying here for a degree at the Finnish university, but they're studying locally here. And they are also working, besides their studies. So that's one opportunity. So especially those students who are from Southern Africa. So just please contact me or our lab, and then we'll see the opportunities. And then, as I mentioned in one, so there is also an online PhD program provided by University of Eastern Finland. which is particularly in educational technology. So you can do like a computer science or education PhD by being in your home country. And it's when you get the certificate, it doesn't say that it's online PhD. It's just a PhD, as of course it is. So these opportunities make like your studies contextually very relevant. Thanks.
Thank you very, very much. Great. Anybody else? Maybe one of the other panelists wants to add something there? Okay, cool. I think I'm going to ask a question maybe to Johannes and Cluneria. Johannes is originally from Ethiopia, and Cluneria from Namibia. And I want to know what made you decide. Maybe you can start, Cluneria, as let's make ladies first. What made you decide to actually pursue studies in Finland? And then a similar question to you, Johannes, specifically when it comes to research. What made you decide to pursue research opportunities in Finland?
Okay, thank you for the question. For me, it's a little bit different because I did my master's at the University of Eastern Finland. And when I did my master's here, I got interested into the education system, and I saw that it could be the possible thing to help me upgrade my career, which is in information communication technology, or ICT integration in teaching and learning. So that's what made me to apply for the PhD and come back and do it. So I really did not know how I could merge into the Namibian education system from like at the PhD level, because I think I entered into the Finnish education system at the master's level very well, and I saw that I was really doing well. So even when I was doing my master, I was having this at the back of my mind that I should study well and pass very well, and that my results will be able to help me get a PhD position. So that's all I can say.
Thank you very much, Cluneria. Johannes, what made you decide to pursue research opportunities in Finland?
Okay, hello everybody. Well, it's a long story, like Cluneria, sorry if I mispronounce her name. Well, when I came to Finland, it was not like I chose Finland and I came to Finland, but it is like I came to Europe in 2008 as part of this Erasmus Mundus master's program, in which 3 universities, University of Oslo and Tampere University and University of Aveiro in Portugal, they had this concert and there was master's program. So I had to come to Finland as part of the mobility program to do my thesis and second semester here. So at that time, my plan was to do my master's degree. Then, honestly speaking, my plan at that time was to pursue my PhD somewhere in English-speaking country in the United States and Canada or Australia or something. But when I had this opportunity with my professor, who was supervising me when I was writing my thesis, so I saw the opportunity, the quality of the learning environment in Finland, especially in Tampere University, the support system, the focus of the research, the dynamics of the research group. This made me to think, to stop and think, okay, I have the opportunity here, and it's very dynamic research group. So then I discussed with my supervisor at that time. Then he saw my progress on my thesis. Then he was so happy. Then we discussed, we planned together on what area I should focus, because in here we have international research group, very dynamic international research group. So I tried to find my place, where should I focus, taking Ethiopia as a case study. Then I applied for PhD, I got the admission, but the problem was the funding. So I had to wait, I had to be patient. Then when the funding came, I applied for that funding, then I got the funding, then I stayed here and I got the job working. I completed my PhD in 2016. I started 2012 until 2016. Then I got the opportunity I got a job and I continued. But the most important thing is that the learning and research environment is so amazing, and the support system is also very good for doctoral students.
Prof. Nina, I'm going to throw this one your way because it's coming up quite a lot. As you know, the cost of education, not just here in Africa, but globally, is quite high. So let's talk the question coming up, scholarships. Are there scholarships available to study in Finland? And how do people go about, digging into information and getting those kinds of scholarships and funding?
Well, indeed, the scholarship is a challenge also for us Finns when we would like to internationalize our teams. So I think there would be probably people who could better answer the system level responses to the lack of scholarships. This is also a thing that we who work closely with African colleagues and universities suffer from, because we would like to offer more scholarships. But I would like to encourage people to be personal towards the research team, as we discussed earlier, that we all do get emails of interests coming to study over to our universities. But what makes a difference is that whether you can approach us with a very personalized message, also linking your effort to understand what is it that we do in Africa together with Africans, and what is our specialization in the projects that we are running. According to my understanding, the best way to access funding, and this does not only concern international students, it also concerns any PhD student, is to have enthusiasm and knowledge towards the subject you're interested in. Motivation, that's the thing. Eagerness to learn and get networked with people who are experts in that study field. So there's no actually limitation to link as a PhD student to our teams, even if you don't have a funding yet. The first thing is that you need to have a real contact with potential supervisors and colleagues you're working with. Then we can together start finding the funding for the work. That is usually the way forward. And I would like everybody to be encouraged and empowered by that idea that do your background work, get contact, don't be shy. Don't expect that the funding is the key issue. The connection is the key issue, and the relevance of the subject you want to study. Then the other way that I would like to emphasize is also that working with Finns, and in particular, if I think of African collaboration, is that since we have a long-term established relationship with many universities, it is possible also to get involved into our supervision system and get access to our resources via being a local member in the team. So you don't have to be affiliated instantly to our university as an enrolled PhD student, but if you are enrolled in local universities in Africa, you can also get benefits of these opportunities. In Tanzania, currently, as from the Resilience Academy video you saw, so we have 4 universities, and all these universities are accessible to University of Turku resources to some extent, because we do research together. We have long established cooperation. So this is also a way forward.
Thank you very much, Prof. Marcus, I saw you were, nodding along as Prof. Nina was speaking. And I know you have a very interesting background, a very interesting story in your relationship with Africa. Language, let's talk language as a barrier of entry. Is it or is it not a barrier when it comes to studying with the Finland?
I was fortunate to be in quite an international study group myself during my PhD studies in Finland. So I didn't find language being a barrier at all. I found it a very, international, dynamic environment where with a lot of flexibility. I was actually in the program that Professor Aki Sutherland mentioned at University of Eastern Finland, where you can do most of your studies also from distance. So I didn't spend my whole study period in Finland, but I tried to spend enough time there to at least be part of the research group and be able to learn from each other in that process. But for sure, language does not need to be a barrier, and Finnish people, they speak English. So in my case, some Finnish people even speak Swedish, since that is their second official language. Although I find in Eastern Finland, they probably prefer speaking English to me than Swedish to me. So.
Great, thank you so much, Marcus. Erkki, I see you have your hand up. Did you want to make a comment as well to the previous question? Just unmute yourself, Prof. Erkki.
Just maybe as a brief comment to what Marcus said, I really was his supervisor, and there will be a lot of stories to tell about that process. So I needed also to chase after him a bit, you know, all over the world. So, but it was all good. So I think that these new opportunities and online opportunities really make, you know, the whole world as a learning milieu, learning environment, and it certainly enriches like our research groups. Coming to the funding, so I think that, as Nina said, it's very, very important for PhD students already to start networking before being officially PhD students, and even write papers, because if you write papers, even if before you apply, so you have like quite good, better opportunities anyway to get like scholarships. And at least in my research group, I actually want, you know, PhD students also to write funding proposals, because when you get funding while you are a PhD student, so you are so much more competent in the job markets after the PhD. And this is also what we have been working with Marcus, you know, a lot and successfully. And Marcus, for example, has been working, you know, in a research project while his PhD student studies, which were actually very, very exciting to also supervise.
I think to the two professors, you know, we're speaking a lot about the PhD students. Let's track back a little bit to kids who are in high school who may be listening or watching or tuning in and asking themselves the question, how do I, as a high school student with big ambitions to go abroad, start preparing to study in Finland? Prof. Nina, you can go ahead and answer that one.
Well, of course, I think in general it would be really good during the high school already get oriented to the way of Finnish lifestyle and the way we do studies, and get acquainted with the information of our country and people and our activities. But I also would like to encourage young students to be networking with young equivalents in the target country they're interested in. Because somehow I feel that this empowerment via knowing people of your similar age in another country gives you added dimension to the orientation. Then it might be also advisable to suggest some school linkages to Finnish schools and high schools. I do have to mention that we have done some really cool stuff together with some NGOs, high schools in Finland, universities, and not yet high schools in Tanzania, but I would really love to try that, to do some online working where we've been learning skills of working with geospatial data in OpenStreetMap platform, creating data for NGOs who need access to remote places in the countryside. And it has been such an amazing experience when you see high school students chatting online with the Tanzanian students, and these type of like action-oriented efforts might work as well. I would love if such initiatives come from young high school students rather than teachers themselves.
Great, thank you so much. I don't know if any of our colleagues from Africa also want to add something, Ngoni or Plenaria or Johannes. Yeah, Ngoni, go ahead.
Okay, I'm just going to take you back slightly. I just wanted to say that when it comes to the language, as Marcus was saying, it shouldn't be a barrier, but then it should be a nuanced approach, and it depends on the field. If you're going to be in a client-facing or at least facing people a lot, like for example, if you're in the medical field or nursing, then definitely language will be an important aspect of things. You would have to think about that, because I'm sure you can't force someone who's coming to the hospital to start speaking English when they're more fluent in Finnish. So that's just one thing to note. It depends on the field. If you're in a university setup or maybe in IT where you just sit behind your computer and you do your work, then that's fine. Language shouldn't be a barrier at all. Now, to speak to the younger students who are coming through, I think I've met quite a number of people coming through from South Africa and Zimbabwe who are studying here. And when it comes to funding, I saw a lot of questions about undergraduate funding. What I know is some people actually go through entrance examinations. And if you do well in those entrance examinations, I don't know what the threshold is, and I guess it depends on the university. But then if you do well, you actually you can get scholarships. And I've seen people, I know friends of mine who have like 70 or 80% scholarships, and you just need to pay the remainder. So there are opportunities for funding as well at undergraduate studies. But then obviously you need to maintain a certain threshold for your grades. And you also need to make sure that you pass the entrance examinations before you actually get the scholarship.
Prof. Atlee, do you want to add on to that for the younger individuals who are looking to study?
Yes. First of all, I know that, there are some Finnish high schools which already take students from abroad, from anywhere for I think, yes, certainly for zero tuition fee. So I can elaborate on that. So if there is a high school, that would be interested, or high school, so you can just contact us, and so we can figure it out. But also, we are interested also in working with high schools in Southern African region. We already started working with the Dana High School in Walvis Bay. So the idea is there that actually our laboratory, our University of Turku laboratory, actually works with high school kids, and then high school kids are part of the university, in that way. And then, that means that you can already start writing your first academic paper while you are at high school. Thanks.
Thank you very much. I have a question maybe for that we can start with Ngoni and Johannes and Cluneria. And that is when we have opportunities like this for people from Africa, how do we avoid the brain drain situation? How do we make sure that people from Africa who go to Finland, a country like Finland, to study and to do research, that it actually benefits Africa and that we don't lose our best talent to Europe in this way? I don't know if one of you wanna go ahead.
Yeah, let me start. Like, I'm a teacher by profession, and the most question that I've been asked here is, are you planning to go back to Namibia? And I always answer that yes. The first reason is that the Namibian government has invested much in my education, and I think I would not do good if I don't pay back by offering my service. And I would encourage all the other people to do the same. Come to Finland, then go and implement in your country. Not necessarily copying what Finland is doing, but implementing it in the context of your country based on the needs in the situation in your country. So I think that's the recommendation I would give to any other person who wants to come and study in Finland, because it wouldn't do any good to your country. You have acquired the skills and you have decided to abandon your nation and come and sit in Finland. I mean, Finland has a lot of good things, and they have a lot of good people already who are employed and doing all the good things. So learn from them and go and implement in your own country. That will also help the education system. I speak mostly because I'm a teacher, so I focus much on the education system, but whatever sector that you are coming from, go and help in that area. I'm sure that the skills that you acquire here will help you do better in your country, in your area of specification.
Maybe to just add on, I think it's important that these projects that are between Finland and Africa are mutually beneficial. So in the sense that if you're going to be working on a project like the one that I was working on, it was between Academy Finland and the NRF in South Africa. It should be done in such a way that when the knowledge is created, it's expected that the student brings back the knowledge, or at least the researcher brings back the knowledge to Africa. So I don't know, maybe from a bureaucratic point of view, there should be some rules, at least, or some agreements that when you finish your studies, you come back and you give back to Africa. But even if there are no rules like that, I think someone should come in with an entrepreneurial mindset, in the sense that there's so much technology that's out here, some stuff that's so simple to implement back in Africa, and it's not being done right now. So as there are so many opportunities for growth in Africa, if you have an entrepreneurial mindset, you can always get this talent or these new technologies and bring it back. And who knows, maybe you could actually start up something in Africa with just using the knowledge and the technology that you have gained here in Finland.
Thank you very much, guys. Johannes.
Okay. Yeah. Just to add, this is very important question. This brain drain is really a pain for Africa, even though some people argue against. It's like they see the brain gain aspect of it, but it's really a challenge for Africa. If we see the statistics, clearly they tell us the fact how Africa is losing the talents. And well, the most important for me, there is no there is no direct answer to solve this problem, but I see it from myself, I see it from my friends. Even I see now I'm advising master's students coming from Africa. And well, the most important thing to avoid this thing is that we African students should focus on research that links them to Africa. The topic, especially in the social science field. I'm not sure in the natural science, in the engineering, in the science part, but in the social science part, if Africans, we don't have to lose the brain, the talents of Africa while doing the research, either in master's level or in PhD level, the topic of our research in one way or another should be related with Africa. I said this to my advices. I have some African students from Ethiopia and from Cameroon as well. So when they developed their proposal, they tried to make their topic, which is specifically about Finland or about Europe or somewhere else. And the first question that I asked them, why not Africa? I know what they are doing, why they are doing that, because they are looking for their future career, so they want to get a job in Europe or in Finland or somewhere else. But the thing that many African students lose, or including me, that this is Europe is well-researched area. They have well-researchers, well-developed researchers, qualified researchers. So they have researched a lot. The West is well-researched. I'm not saying that it's all over, but what's the most important thing is not well-researched is Africa. So that is the way that link you, one researcher, African researcher linked to his country, to his continent, is finding a topic, a real problem in Africa, so that you could deliver something to your country. And for example, me, I completed my PhD in 2016, and the first thing that I did just a year before or a few months before my completion date is to create a project with my professor who had strong link with Africa, with Ugandan universities and with Ethiopian universities, with South African universities. So we developed a project and we got the funding for 3 years. So I have been working as a coordinator in that project. So I use my knowledge, my skill, my experience in my PhD and develop that project based on my research findings. So it links me with Africa. Even though still I'm here, I'm coordinating a project with Ethiopian universities, with Ugandan universities. Even we are working now with University of KwaZulu-Natal in one capacity development in higher education leadership and management. So this is one way that linked me with Africa and with my country, Ethiopia. So we have to focus, we have to convince our students, African students, at least a project or a topic, a research topic that links them with their country. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Johannes, and thank you very much, everybody else, for your perspectives. I think that is a topic that one can have a whole webinar and a discussion on its own. We are running out of time, so I'm going to ask each one of our panelists maybe just to, in 2 sentences, finish off. I see your hand is up, Erki, maybe make a comment on that. And then just in 2 or 3 sentences, if you can give advice to everybody here joining us today from Africa or other parts of the world who are thinking about their careers, thinking about possibilities of studying and research in Finland. In 2 or 3 sentences, what would your last thoughts be to them, Prof. Erkki?
Thank you. I think that, we should really talk about like liberation, by education. So we are global citizens, we work all around. So it's not about brain or brain feed or whatever. We are just exchanging, we are working with different partners globally, but in the context. And this is what we want to do also by our future technology lab here. So welcome to this network and thank you.
Thank you. Erkki Cloneria, your last thoughts.
Yeah, I want to really emphasize on what Johannes said, that when you do research in Finland, let your focus be on Africa. And if you get the opportunity to come and study in Finland, keep the collaboration when you return back to your country. It will help.
Thank you, Ngoni.
I would just say for potential researchers and PhD students, network. That's the only way you can actually get through in this field of academia. You just need to network. For the high school students, just apply and make sure you pass your examinations and you get the scholarships that many of you have been asking. Thanks.
Prof. Nina.
I would like to echo what Erkki was saying about the global citizenship and the fact that the digitalization is really making us rethink the issues of brain drain or issues of boundaries, because there's no boundaries. We're in an interconnected world, and I think it's wonderful, and I would encourage people to think opportunity with Finns as an extended opportunity of your local talent, with globalized assets, with a cooperation that brings added value to our own life world where we've been living. So it's a mutual thing, and it's an interactive thing. So I'm looking forward to more connections, and you can find me in the internet and our activities, particularly in East Africa, but these things are scalable. So take a look at it and make the opportunity real in your surroundings. Thank you.
Thank you. Markus.
First, just take the opportunity to thank you for a very nice webinar. And I think that the title, I like the future is made with Finland, not necessarily in Finland. And I think that should be, for the people that are worried about brain drain and so on. I think Finland is a fantastic country. There is a fantastic country to study in. But I mean, Africa is an amazing continent full of opportunities. So I don't think there really need to be a competition. I think Finnish people are probably more and more discovering how fantastic this continent is. So maybe the brain drain would rather be from Finland moving this side. We see Erkki sitting in Namibia nowadays, one of the most brilliant professors I know. So I think it should go both ways, both directions. And I think that is also where we're heading. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you. Johannes, your last words.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, what I would like to say is for potential PhD applicants, the first thing that they should know is PhD is not a charity, okay? So when one university gives you that PhD opportunity, it is not like a charity. It is that because they know that you have the potential, because they are also benefiting from you. So the most important, what I would like to say in here is, when you start your PhD, when you plan a PhD, you have to show your potential. You have to show your motivation clearly, and you have to know your research area. So in that way, you convince the potential recruiters how capable you are, how motivated you are. So when you come here, you are here to deliver something, not only to get something and go back, but you are also here to deliver something. So you have to show that motivation, that potential in a very short paper. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Johannes. That's, I think, the perfect way to bring things to a close. If you do have more questions, questions that have been answered that you may have missed, we are going to be sending out a link. We will publish all the links with all the relevant information at the hashtag Future with Finland webpage just after the webinar. So you can find all of the information there, as well as study materials or links to where you can find information on how you can study. On that note, It is my proud honor to introduce now the Ambassador to South Africa, Her Excellency Anna Lamila.
Yes, hello. I don't know if you can see me. Yeah, okay, right now I see myself. So I'm Anne Lammila and I've been ambassador in South Africa since November last year. And I've been very happy to the fact that we are focusing very much on education, and I have very good colleagues that are working in that area, and especially Pyry Soiri, and I will be giving her the floor next. But just a few words about this exercise. We think it's wonderful to have so many people learning about possibilities that Finland can offer if you are a student or if you are a postdoc student. We certainly welcome you all. I would just like to remind you of the competition that is running in our social media pages. And I would like to extend my gratitude to a Finnish company that works also in South Africa, Huhtamäki, which is making very nature-friendly packaging, like you see in KFC or McDonald's. But they are sponsoring our event, and we are very grateful for that. This financing is always needed, as you know, and which has come out in the questions. So without further ado, I would like to give the floor to my team in Pretoria. So maybe Ina first and then others, and to my colleagues in other countries.
Hello everyone, here's the team from Pretoria. Thank you so much for we have been doing our best to answer your questions, but don't worry, we will have another 2 wonderful episodes. I'm the one working with education and science, so I put my links as well on my email, so you can contact me anytime. And here is the rest of the team.
Hello, my name is Mariana Hipponen. I'm the Deputy Head of Mission at the Embassy of Pretoria, of Finland here in Pretoria, sorry.
Hi, and I'm Masero Polo. I am the Team Finland Assistant, also working on the country branding and social media. So please do follow us on Finland in South Africa, on Instagram, Finland Pretoria on Twitter, and so forth. But we've definitely been enjoying engaging with all of you. Questions are very, very interactive. And yeah, looking forward to seeing you in the other 2 episodes. But on staff at a colleague.
And hi, Lucy. I've been answering a few of your immigration. We'll compile them all onto the website. Contact us with any immigration-related questions. And it has been a pleasure to follow the webinar. And thank you all for joining us.
So thank you. And this is a collaborative effort with the other Finnish embassies in the region. So we are calling our colleagues in Lusaka to show their faces next. Thank you very much, and see you in 2 other episodes.
Yes, on that note, I'd like to introduce the Ambassador to Lusaka, Her Excellency, I'm going to pronounce this correctly, I've been practicing, Pyry Soiri. Did I say it correctly? Please forgive me if not.
That was excellent. I was trying to put on my video, but it said I can't put it on because the host has stopped it, but you can hear my voice. Start my video. Okay. Okay, I saw my face.
We can see your face too now.
Oh, you can see my face.
We can see
okay.
You.
Excellent. If you can see me and you can hear me. Fantastic to see so many people this morning joining this this activity and event. Excellent discussion. I'm really impressed. We are obviously really pleased here in Lusaka to be working with our embassy in Pretoria. My name is Pyry Soiri. As you already heard, I'm the ambassador here at the Finnish Embassy in Lusaka, Zambia, where we are, in fact, right now living very exciting and positive times after peaceful and democratic elections that have taken place here. Education is a more and more active area for our embassy. And of course, there's been for a long time cooperation between universities, educational institutions between Zambia and Finland. And there's also an alumni network. I hope very much that you have all got answers to your questions today. And I do hope that you get very inspired by today's discussion. The embassy here in Lusaka, we are here for you, and we want to support you wherever we can. We are, of course, also in social media, and we have an excellent team here. I will let the rest of our team introduce themselves. Do we have Jan?
Yes, I'm also actually struggling. The host has asked to start your video. Yes, there we go. Start my video. Just give me a second. Okay. Okay. So yes, good. Well, actually, good afternoon, everyone. So my name is Jan Koivu. I'm the Deputy Head of Mission and the Head of Cooperation here at the Finnish Embassy in Lusaka. And as was stated by the Ambassador, we are available for you if there are any questions regarding study opportunities in Finland. If there is something we are not able to answer, we will then direct you to those individuals and entities that are able to give you good responses. Thank you very much.
Hello, this is Patricia Loflund, Sikle. Can you hear me? I don't see myself.
Yes, we hear you.
Yes, okay. All right, thank you very much. I have just started, well, first of all, a nice hello to everyone. And as our ambassador said, nice to see so many interested people from this part of Africa. I have just come to Africa in August, so everything is very new to me, but I'm really, really happy to be part of this group. And for some reason I see start my video, but it doesn't go on, so I'm sorry, but at least you can hear my voice, hopefully. So looking forward to help you, to the ones that are in our jurisdiction in Lusaka or Malawi or Zimbabwe or the Democratic Republic of Congo, which are the three countries. And we will be there with my colleague Mikey, who will present herself in a few minutes. And thank you for all, and happy to help you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Fantastic. Thank you very, very much. Thank you for everybody joining us. Thank you so much to the panelists. Thank you to everybody from the different embassies. We are...
Yes, sorry, I'm also here.
Mikey, please go
One
ahead.
more important team member.
Thank you. Thank you for including me as well. And thank you all for such an inspiring and excellent event. It was truly amazing to see the great panel discussions, as well as all the interest, fun, and good questions we had regarding studying and doing research in Finland.
Thank you, Mikey.
Sorry?
Thank you very
yes,
much.
sorry. But you can hear me. And I also wanted to just say that, as Patricia mentioned before, we are very happy to answer all your questions from Zambia, Zimbabwe, Malawi, and DRC. Please don't hesitate to contact us to the email address consul.lus@formin.fi if you have any questions about studying. We are more than happy to answer any of your inquiries and here to help you.
Wonderful. Thank you very, very much. And also in the next 2 episodes, don't miss the next 2 episodes. Next week, we are focusing specifically on research. And when I finish off here now, I will play a quick video where you can get a little bit of a taster of next week's episode. And then the one after that, we will specifically look at practical ways that you can get to Finland, apply for studies, apply for scholarships, all those kind of things. So please don't miss episode 2 and 3. And during those episodes, we will also give an opportunity to other embassies in Southern Africa, embassies of Finland in Southern Africa, to introduce themselves. So thank you to the panelists, thank you to the people from the embassy, thank you to everybody who has been working hard behind the scenes, and especially to you, our attendees, our audience. Thank you for all the questions, thank you for all the comments. I'm sorry for those that we didn't specifically get to, but we were limited in time. We will try to answer all of those also in our links that we will share on the website afterwards. So I hope that you have a lovely afternoon, and see you next time, while I go ahead and give you a taster of what you can expect next Wednesday.
Thank you very much. See you all.
Thank you. Bye-bye.